Okay, we'll start now. I had sent you some text yesterday, and that text was regarding arrays. So we'll be starting with the topic of arrays today. Okay, now this is a new topic. So everybody pay attention. Okay. It is not a very difficult topic. Arrays, yes, managing arrays is a little different from managing a variable, but it is just like a variable. Only thing is, in a variable we store only one value. In an array, in a single name, we can store multiple values, 10, 15,000, lakh, whatever. Okay, now let's start off. What are Java arrays? Java array, these arrays are actually objects. Okay, so they are treated as objects, which contains elements of a similar data type in a single variable. So that means using a single name, you can basically store multiple values. For example, let's take a program in which I need to input three numbers I want to process them. If there are three numbers, I can possibly take three variables, maybe take input into those three variables and use them. Okay, however we want to use it. 3 is fine, 2 is fine, even 5 variables is fine. But if I ask you to input 20 numbers or input 50 numbers or input 100 numbers, suppose I want to enter marks of all 56 of you, I will not be using 56 variables. What I will do is, I will use an array, maybe by the name of marks. I'll create an array like this. Okay, so how will I create it? I will create it like this. All right. Now you have seen how an array is created. Why is an array used? Why is an array used? When we want to store multiple values, and I want to use a single name for multiple those values for storing those multiple values. Okay, so if I want to store hundreds or thousands of values, this is a kind of a collection that I am going to use, arrays. So an array basically is an object, number one. Nothing to worry about. You don't need to worry about this part. It is, you just take it that this is an array. I'm not going to ask you to explain it to me why is it an object or anything else. This is only to be remembered, that's all. You don't have to understand much in this. It can contain multiple values. Yes, it can contain multiple values. An array can contain multiple values. But only thing is, all values should be of the same data type. So that means if I create this array, the name of the array is marks, in which I will store how many values? 56 values. All those 56 values will be of type int. Okay, so we cannot have an array containing one element of float type and one element of int type and one element of string type. No, it's not possible. For that we have multiple other things. Okay, so in your syllabus we have arrays only, and those arrays are treated like this. So these are the three things that you need to remember about an array. It is an object. It can contain multiple values, and all values will be of the same data type. Okay. Are we fine so far? Yes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Everybody? Anybody having any doubt till now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, let's continue. What have we created now? Okay, okay, fine. Let me create an array of, say, 3 elements. Okay. Now, if I create an array of 3 elements, let me give it a shorter name. I don't want to type so much. So let me give it a shorter name. int m brackets is equal to new int 3. Please remember square brackets on this side and square brackets on the other side. Okay, so on both the sides you are using square brackets. Square brackets basically are used to identify that this particular thing is an array. All right. If I, for example, use something like this, or sorry, if I use something like this, it is basically a method. If I use braces, this is a block. But if I use these braces, this is an array. Okay. So what would be the difference between m with round brackets and m with square brackets? This is a method and this is an array. Okay, we should be very clear about it. So the syntax is int m brackets is equal to new int 3. Please remember the data type given to the array should be the same one that is going to be used here. Okay. Let us, okay, the other technicalities we'll do see sometime later. Now, m can contain 3 values now, and the 3 values can be stored into something called as elements. All right, so that means I can say that m has 3 elements. Right, and the elements are numbered from 0, 1 and 2, so that means the numbering of the elements always starts with a 0. So arrays are also 0 based, just like strings, they start with character number 0. Similarly, an array also starts with character number element number 0. Are we okay so far, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Excuse me, sir.
Haji beta.
Sir, how many elements can an array have?
It can be unlimited. It can be unlimited. Basically, the restriction is on the memory size.
Okay, sir.
Okay. The arrays are basically stored in contiguous memories. Contiguous memory. So if I have 1 GB of contiguous memory available, I can store an array of size 1 GB. You understand what contiguous memory means? Where there are no breaks. It needs a memory of that size as one big chunk. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, M has 3 elements. Now, how am I going to refer to the 3 elements? I'm going to refer to them as M0, M1, and M2. Okay. So I'm going to refer them as M0. So how am I going to refer to? This is my first element. This is my second element, and this is my third element. The first element has the index of 0. So this element basically has something called as an index, just like your strings. Now, if I want to store some value into M0, I'll say M0 is equal to 12. And if I want to store something here, M1 is equal to 16. And here M so and so is equal to 19. So let the aircraft go. Okay. So what is going to happen now is in the 0th element, that is my first element, it is going to store 12. In the second element, it's going to store 16. And in the third element, it is going to store 19. Now, there is one confusing terminology here. If I ask you what is the value stored in the first element, so I am using the word first. And if I ask you what is stored in element number 2, I am using 2. So when I ask you what is the first element is actually 0 element. And if I ask you element number 2, that is element number 2. Okay. Anyway, these confusions we'll sort out a little later. Have you understood how to create an array? number one, an array has elements, and elements are accessed using indexes. M that we have created just now has 3 elements, and the elements are numbered as 0, 1 and 2. The elements are, the starting index is always 0 for all arrays. How do we store values into any of these is using the array with the index. If I use only M, that is my array. If I use only 0, that is my index, I cannot use them separately. I cannot say M is equal to 2. This cannot be done. Alright. And of course, index to वैसे नहीं use कर सकते. So what we'll do is, we'll use the combination of the array and the index. Now it can be used. Okay, now what will happen if I use M3 is equal to 27? What way if I write this?
Index out of bounds.
Sir, out of bounds.
Out of bounds. So that means an exception is going to be raised. Okay. We say exception will be raised. All right. So we cannot go beyond. All right. Unlike other languages like C++ and so on, it allows you to go even beyond the array. Java will never allow you to go beyond the array. Okay, so in your programs, you have to make sure that your program always remains within the boundaries. Okay, now the first way to create an array is like this. It basically creates a blank array. So it creates a blank array. Okay, and all the elements are uninitialized. All right, all the 3 elements are uninitialized. They are not initialized. So if I give a command SOP M0, what is this going to do?
Sir, accept
Zero.
error.
Error
No,
आ
it will
जाएगा.
show zero.
No, error ये तो compile ही नहीं होगा. That this is not initialized.
There it will show zero.
Again, sorry. Yes, they are all initialized as 0. In fact, if I just write an int m, like this is an initialized array. Okay, so all the elements. Thank you. Who was that? Yuvraj or Aryan?
Rn.
Aryan, thank you so much. They automatically get a value of 0. Thank you, Aryan. Okay, so fine. So when I create this array, it is a blank array. All the values are automatically taken as zeros. So they are all initialized. Again, this is the property of an object, that the instance variables automatically get a value of 0. So you can understand. It is not a normal instance variable. It is not a normal variable. Okay, now. So this is very important. So whenever you create an array like this, all the elements automatically get a value of 0. And if you try to use them, it takes a 0. Okay, fine. All right. So if I want to display the first element, so I'll write SOP M. What should I write? First element.
M0.
M0.
M0. So first element M0. If I say display element number 2, you will say M2. But if I say display the second element, you will say
M1.
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 ठीक है? All right. Okay, done. इस तरह से तो हमने एक array create किया जो कि blank था, सारे zeros थे. But when I am creating an array, suppose I am creating an array called n, and I already know the values. So what can I do? I can pass it the values like 3, 4, 2, 6, 1, something like this. So what is this going to do? This is also
Sir,
going
in
to do
curly
this.
brackets.
Curly braces, yes. Now curly braces now is basically used as a data block. Okay, it is going to be used as a data block. All right. So in fact, in Java, we can create a block of data using curly braces. All right. So any block, we can create a block of statements using curly braces. We can create a block of data using curly braces. Are we fine? Okay. So
Yes.
n brackets is equal to, in curly braces, give the elements, whatever elements. All right. So naturally n0 is going to get a value of 3 and n4 is going to get a value of 1. Okay. Are we fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay. Now, yes, beta.
sir, in
Yes.
int n brackets, don't we have to write the number of elements?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. Okay. That is in other languages, in C, C++. Yes, you can write here. There also it is optional. Here it is optional. You need not write it here. Okay. Okay. Now the next point. We have used as an index a constant 0 or a 1 or a 2. We can use as variables. So suppose if I have a variable called x which has a value of 2, and if I say SOP n x, what is it going to display?
2.
It is going to
Sir,
display
4.
a 2. 2 beta. This is element number 0, element number 1 and element number 2. Okay, so x has a value of 2, it will display element number 2, and element number 2 has coincidentally a value of 2. Are we clear there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me confuse you guys. What will happen if I write n x plus plus?
2.
2.
2.
6.
2.
2.
2.
2.
2.
2.
2. 2. 2.
2.
Sir, it is post increment 2.
Yes, 2. It is post increment. Naturally, it is going to use the value of 2 for processing this n, and then it gives me a 2, but later on x increases to a 3. Okay. Okay, now if I write SOP n plus plus x.
6.
6. 6.
6.
6.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir, it is pre increment.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure it is a 6?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think it is this.
Sir, it is
Yes,
1
sir. It is
because
1.
Yes, sir, it's 1.
x
Because
is
already it
becoming
has
3 in
been
the previous statement and now
Yes,
it
it
is
has
1.
it has changed here. It has changed from 2 to a 3 here. It will become from 3 it will become 4 first, then it will process n4, and n4 is actually a 1.
Sir, but you didn't tell us that this was one program.
I'm writing it as one
Yes,
program,
sir.
so so it's going continuously. Okay? It is going continuously. I told you I'm going to confuse you guys. All right. You have the values of m, which is 12, 16, and 19. Let me remove this clutter from in between so that it is one block. What will happen if I write, if I process m, n, 4?
Array within an array.
Yeah. Just process it. Just process it. What is n4?
Sir, it will display 16.
16. Error.
It will be 16.
It will display a 16. Yes. Although you will not get programs like this, but I will test you like this. Okay. So n4 is basically a 1, isn't it? So it actually becomes m1. And what is the value of m1? M1 is actually a 16, so it will give me 16. So answer is 16. Okay, done. Now we have learned now that we can create a blank array using this statement, or we can create array with data using this statement. Now you will either use this statement or you will use this statement. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, if we write int n and in the brackets we write a negative value, just like -1,
That
so
is
that will
no,
cause it. What? That
cause
will
an
cause it.
yes, yes. Okay. Negative कुछ नहीं डालना. Okay. So if suppose my program says you have to input some values, naturally you will create a blank array and you will input the values into the elements and then you will process it. But if I say that these are the 5 numbers in the array, so you will basically create something like this and then you will process it. You will not input it. That means you've already given it a value. Okay? So these are the only two ways that in which you will be creating your arrays, by the way. Are we fine here?
Excuse
Yes
me,
or
sir.
no? Yes, beta.
Sir, I did not understand what happens when we write int x is equals to 2.
So when you say int x is equal to 2, x is a normal variable containing a value of 2. And when I say SOP nx, it actually becomes n2. So what is n2? This is n0, this is n1, and this is n2. So what is the value? 2. It will display a 2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and next I put a post increment inside that n. So when I say nx plus plus, what is it going to do? Is it going to use, it is going to increase first, or is it going to use the 2 first? Because it is
Use the
post
2.
increment, yes, use the 2 first. So naturally n2 will be processed and the value there is a 2, no problem. But x will be increased to 3. And when I give the next command, x is already 3, it will, because the pre-increment, it will become 4. And n4 will be processed, n4 is actually a 1. So it displays a 1. Make sense?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I write int a brackets is equal to, somebody's mic is on. Int a brackets is equal to, say, 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6, and if I write int b brackets is equal to new int right, I've created two arrays. One is populated with data and one is blank. They are all zeros. All right. What will happen if I display a B0?
0.
B0 will display a 0. What will happen if I display an A0?
2.
2.
2.
Okay. So एक चीज मैं explain कर दूं तुम्हें. That is, if I use an AX or if I use a BX, so AX is actually going to display a 5.
5.
Yes.
5, and bx is going to display a
0.
0. Fine. Okay. Now you can understand, ये जो x वाला variable है ना, किसी array के साथ connected नहीं है. It's not by I will use x only for this particular array and I will use some other index only for another array. No, they are not connected in any way. So use whatever you want to use. So it's up to you. Okay. First of all, they are not connected. Secondly, I told you they are objects. So when you create something like int a brackets is equal to something, don't you think this is something like when you used to write the demo, say g is equal to new demo function? It's something like that only, na? जो आप ये
Yes.
कमांड लिख रहे हो और ये कमांड लिख रहे हो, सिमिलर कमांड्स है ना? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
what is actually happening is this is an array object that is created. This is an array object that is created. This is a demo object that is created. What is on the left hand side of this? What is G?
Reference variable.
Is a reference. Is a reference
Reference.
variable. A reference variable. What is A? A reference variable. What is B? A reference variable.
Reference variable.
Okay, they are all reference variables. Okay. Now let me ask you now, what will happen if I write B is equal to A? I say मैं A की copy B में बना रहा हूँ. Okay. Just like we normally do with variables, if I write B is equal to A, what is going to happen now?
The reference of A will be stored in B.
So that means whatever, what is A containing actually?
The reference in the memory at which the array is stored.
At which this array is stored. Okay. And what is B reference storing? B is storing where this all zeros array is stored. So what is going to happen now? B is going to get the same address of A. So that means B is going to get the address of this object now. Okay.
Yes.
So what will happen now? What will happen now if I display a B0 now? What is going to display?
2.
It is going to display a 2. What if I say B0 is equal to 27? What will happen if I say in display a B0?
27.
27. What will happen if I display an A0?
27.
Then again. Okay. Why so? Because both the arrays, both the references are actually pointing to the same object, this one. Okay. Both of them are pointing to the same object. Okay. So please, 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 I don't expect you to understand all this, but I want you to do one thing, that if you want to make a copy of an array, do not make a copy of an array like this. Okay? Is it fine?
Yes.
Is it understood? So I don't expect you to understand all this. I mean, you can leave that out, no problem. But do not copy an array like this. Okay? Because this is the problem that is going to happen. I'm going to leave it like this for the reference of you, all of you guys. All right.
Excuse me, sir.
Hanji beta.
Sir, can you please explain why A0 is 27?
Why A0 is 27? Okay. Now, when I say B is equal to A, B also contains the address of this object now. So that means B0 is pointing to 2. Okay. Now when I
Yes, sir.
say B0 is equal to 27, what happens is that changes to a 27. Because B is actually pointing to this object, naturally वो उसके 0 को ही 27 चेंज कर देगा. अब वो बेचारा A0 डिस्प्ले करोगे तो भी वो 27 ही डिस्प्ले करेगा. B0 को करोगे तो भी 27 ही डिस्प्ले करेगा.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Okay?
sir. And sir, one more thing I wanted to ask. Sir,
हाँ जी.
like there's a string pool in Java.
हाँ.
Sir, like are these elements of an array also stored in a somewhat similar way?
No.
Okay,
Although
sir.
it uses some sort of efficiency mechanisms, but it is not similar to strings. String has a very primitive kind of a mechanism there. That is why I explained it to you. Arrays, yes, they do have, but they are not simple. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what do we do? Okay. So what if I want to make a copy? What if I want to make a copy? We use a function called system.arrayCopy. System.arrayCopy. Array copy is one word. All right, so copy doesn't start with a capital letter. And system.arrayCopy has has five arguments, and the five arguments are, I've forgotten them.
The first array, the position to begin in the first array,
Yeah.
then the second array, the position to begin in the second array, and the number of elements to be copied.
You are referring to Google Baba, is it?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So system.arrayCopy. This is where you want to. This is your source array. That means where you want to copy from. That is your source array. Where you want to start copying from. This is your target array, which says this is where you want to copy to. This is where you want to start copying, and this is the number of elements to be copied. Now let's take your array as this. So that means your A array contains values as 2, 3, 4, 5. And B as an array contains 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I now write system.arrayCopy A 1, comma, B, comma, 2, comma, 3. Will it be okay? 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
What if I write this? This means I want to copy from A and I want to copy to B. So that means it will be copied from A to B. Where is the
B will
copying?
be-
Yeah. So where is the copying going to start from? It is going to from the source array. It will start from element number 1. And where will 3 be copied into B will be at element number 2. So that it will copy over here. So what is actually going to happen is that 3, 4 and 5 will actually be copied into three locations. Now, have you understood this?
Yes.
Have you understood this?
Sir, please explain
Please
again.
explain it again.
Okay. This is my source array. This is my target array. This has to be. This should be will be very clear. These are the number of elements to be copied. That should also be very clear. So what is confusing is this one. This one says कि source array में से copying शुरू कहाँ से होगी? Copying शुरू कहाँ से होगी? Element number 1 से शुरू होगी. Okay, so कहाँ से शुरू होगी? From this 3. But target पे copy कहाँ से होगी पहले? It will be copied onto 2. So that means the element number 1 here will be copied on element number 2 here. So this 3 is going to be copied here. This 4 naturally will be copied here, and this 5 will be copied here. Why these 3 only? Because we said 3 elements are to be copied. Make sense?
Sir, if it was 4, then it would throw an exception.
Throw an exception because there is nothing. I mean, you are going beyond the array. Okay? If you give a 4 here, it will throw an exception. Are we fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So when you give this command, the target array is going to get the values of 0, 0, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now suppose I give the command again. I give the command. They are all blanks again. So they are all 0 and 0 and 0. And if I give the command again, if I say A comma 2 comma B comma 0 comma, what is in B?
4, 5, triple zeros.
45000. Okay, so that means why is 4 coming into this place? is because we said source में 2 से शुरू करना है, तो वो 2 से शुरू करेगा, और वो B में कहाँ से शुरू करेगा कॉपी करना, यहाँ पे। अब सिर्फ 2 ही एलिमेंट्स कॉपी करने हैं, सो नेचुरली स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम पोजीशन 2 2 एलिमेंट्स कॉपी होंगे, 4 and 5। कहाँ पे कॉपी होंगे, 0 and 1 पे। सो आंसर क्या आएगा, ये 4 and ये 5। Now you will get questions like this in your tests or exams. That means I will give you the source array, I'll give you the target array, and you have to figure out what is going to be the situation. But if you want to copy the entire array, this is the entire array. Okay. Okay. We have given a 5 here. 5 is the length of the array. How do we figure out the length of an array? Is by writing array dot length. Okay, not length function. If I write a dot length function, it is assumed that you are actually using a string. So if I'm using a function here, that means I am using a string. But if it is length, I'm using an array. It's not always the case, but yes, as far as you guys are concerned, this is it. So in your arrays program, you will never use length function to find out the length of an array. You will use a dot length. It is a property, but here in strings it is a method. So there is a difference.
Excuse me, sir.
That's better.
Sir, we don't have to write semicolon after a dot length.
नहीं बेटा, मैं तो सिर्फ फंक्शन बता रहा हूँ, आगे क्या करना है उसका वो तो पूरी कमांड ही आएगी। वो तो it will be something like int n is equal to a dot length. That's it. उसमें सेमीकोलन आएगा ही ना, ठीक है। This is not the entire statement. This is only the part of the program which is actually doing something.
Sir, a dot length can be used for any number also. Like if we have a number like 1 billion, so it can say all the digits, how many digits it has.
No,
It can
No.
only be used for arrays.
it can only be used for arrays, not for a number. Number doesn't have anything. It doesn't have a property. It doesn't have method. Okay, not for a primitive.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's write a small program and then we'll stop here. Suppose I have a new program now. Int m brackets is equal to, I say 1 to 1 comma 2 3 4. Sorry, where is it? Okay, suppose I want to display all the elements of this m. So what we will do is, in fact, I have given in my write-up also, you will be creating an array, a loop for it. Your loop will start with an index number 0, and it will go x till x is less than m dot length or m dot length function.
M dot length.
M dot length and x plus plus. Okay, and you will write SOP or SOPLN mx. What is this basically going to do? This is going to, when the loop starts, yes. By the way, m dot length is a 5. When I say less than 5, it will go only up to 4. So it is something like the loop that you use for strings, but I'm using an array now. So 0 element शुरू होगा तो m0 display कर देगा. Next time x plus plus हो जाएगा, then it will again check whether it is less than length. It will again display m1, then m2, then m3, then m4. That's it. Okay. Does this make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I want to find the sum of all the elements in an array, so I'll use an accumulator, and in the loop, I will use sum plus equal to mx, and after the loop, I will display sum. Any problem here, guys?
No, sir.
my program starts from here. So I have created the array, I have created an accumulator, I have started a loop from beginning till the end. Every element is accumulated into the variable sum, and when the loop finishes, I have displayed sum. No problem?
No problem.
No problem.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, in this case, what is the length of the array?
What is the length of the array? Is 5. There are 5 elements in this array. The length is 5, but the last index is 4.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And it is going to go up to 4 because I've said x is less than m dot length. So till it is 4, it will keep on working, but when it becomes 5, it will stop working. So never, never, never give an equal to sign here. So this should not be there. It should always be less than m dot length. Always. Okay.
Sir, can the sum function be also an array? So that if we needed some more variables in it, but in different forms like that.
It could be. Depends
So an
on.
array can be added to an array, like.
Yes, array can be added to an array. Yes, why not? Okay. That depends on the situations. Now, I'm going to change this program now. The change is I have taken an array. I want to display the sum of the even numbers and the sum of odd numbers. What do I do?
If condition inside.
If m percent x
Sir, if condition.
is equal to
Okay,
0.
okay.
Else.
Now let me see raise of hands. I'm not going to ask everybody, sorry. I'm going to ask others. Only 5? Only 6? Ishan, tell me.
Sir, we will write an if statement inside the loop. Like if m in square brackets, we will write x percent 2 is double equal to 0, then we will get to know it is an even number, else we will get to know it is an odd number.
Okay. So how many accumulators do I need?
So 2.
2. So I'll create something like SE is equal to 0, comma SO is equal to 0. What do I do now? I will put. What do I check?
If m in square brackets x percent 2 is double equal to 0.
0. Then what do I do?
Then SE is SE plus.
I will add it to SE. Otherwise, I will add it to. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then I will display SE, and then I will display SO. Okay. All right. What if I want to find the average?
Sum divided by m dot length.
So divide by m dot length.
Divided by m dot length.
So divided by m dot length minus 1.
Divided by m dot length minus 1.
That for
No,
some
sir, no, sir.
average
No,
of
sir.
odd
No,
and
sir.
even. M dot length.
Okay, raise of hands now. Raise of hands. I will ask somebody. Bhave.
So
Bhave, what?
SO plus SC divided by M dot length.
No, average of even numbers, average of odd numbers separately.
So SE divided by M. So we will add a function, creating a and also accumulator plus plus.
Okay. So that means I need to count them also now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I need to count them. So that means I cannot say, because if I want the average of even numbers, I don't know how many even numbers are there, isn't it? So what do I
Yes.
do now? I'll
So
say CE ले लेते हैं 0 and CO ले लेते हैं 0. What should I do now?
So CE plus plus.
E plus plus.
Brackets.
CO plus plus.
CA plus plus. Now is this fine? Only Ishan says. Ishan बोल रहा है ना अभी? Sorry, भव्य बोल रहा है. कौन बोल रहा है अभी? Bhavya was answering. Bhavya was answering. Okay. So what should I do, Bhavya, now? Is this fine? Is this part
I
fine?
think so.
Yeah, think so. Okay. Okay. Who else says there is something wrong with this? Ankit? Okay, no,
There
Ankit,
should be
Ankit,
break.
you answer.
There should be curly braces after
There
it.
should be curly braces.
And else.
Okay, why should there be curly braces now? पहले चल गया था काम.
Because there are two statements now.
Because there are multiple statements inside the if and there are multiple statements inside the else. Okay, so what do I do now? I want to store the average of something into a variable. What should I do now? Who is answering, by the way? Yeah, there are so many people. Atinder.
Yes, sir.
Hanji, Atinder, what should I do now? I want to
Sir,
store in AVG and AVGO. I want to store something. Yes, what do I do? What data type should I keep it?
sir, it should be int only.
It should be int only. Do you think it is going to be giving me, after a division, it is always going to be giving me an int result?
Yes, sir.
Is it? So if I say
Yes,
4
sir.
upon, 4 upon 3, it is going to give me a fractional result, isn't it? A division most often is going to give you a fractional result.
So then we can use float.
You can use a float. Okay, I'm using a float now. Is equal to, what do I do? SE upon CE. Chalega? Is this statement
Yes.
fine now?
No, sir.
Okay, people are not agreeing to you,
No, sir.
Atinder. So what is wrong with your program now?
Sir, we'll have to typecast SE by CE.
Okay, so what should I do? I'll typecast. So what do I do? How do I typecast?
Sir, we'll use float outside and we'll use like normal brackets. Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir,
So
sorry, sir.
is this fine?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
There are
No,
some
sir.
people still not agreeing
Sir,
with you.
I'm confused.
No. Okay. Is this fine?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is fine. Atinder, this is fine. Okay, I have just actually typecasted SE as a float. So naturally float divided by int will give me a result as a float. So that is not a problem.
Okay, sir.
But by mistake, people do this also. In fact, you guys do this. So what is the problem now?
The
result
int
will
value
still
which will
be an
come by.
int.
Yes, and it will
And
become just
then it will
converted
be
into
typed.
float.
Okay,
So it would
because we
just
have used, okay, let me explain. Because we have used brackets here, it is actually going to perform the division first. So it is not going to do the typecasting first. It is going to do the division first. So division is int by int, it will give me the int result. अब उस बेचारे int को float में convert करने का क्या benefit है कोई benefit नहीं है. ठीक है अतिंदर? So it should always be like this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Dishita, what should I do for AVGO now? Is Dishita here?
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी बेटा.
So we'll use float data type
Okay. Is equal to
we'll typecast SO divided by CO into float.
all right. And then you will display I will display
AVG.
AVGE and AVGO. Okay, thank you Dishita. Now guys, one question for you. do I need to use two counters here?
No, sir.
All
No,
right,
sir.
don't answer the question, okay? You can say yes or no, but don't answer it. Suppose I don't want to use the second counter. What changes should I make in my program? So that means this CO will go, this CO will go. What should I do now? Can we have raise of hands? Who has not answered today? Akarsh, you have not answered today?
So we will use uh, S M dot length minus SE.
M dot length minus
SE.
You mean CE?
CE, yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this was the answer.
Sir, we will
Sorry.
add the parentheses over here.
Yes, 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 yes. Otherwise तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. ठीक है. So parenthesis चाहिए यहाँ पे. ठीक है. बाकी सब ठीक है. Yes. So guys, although you will not be doing like this, you will be creating your another counter also. This is just for you to start thinking about other things also. Okay, so what is going to happen here? If C is suppose 3, so 5 minus 3 is 2, it will divide SO by 2, and that is my average of. Okay. Guys, do you know what happens if I divide anything by 0 in Java?
Division by 0 error.
Division, that means there is going to be an error now. Suppose my array contained this. Is my program going to work fine?
No.
No. Why not?
Because CE will remain 0.
Yes. CA will remain 0. CO is equal to 0. Let me use CO only. Let me use the simplistic one. Okay. Now, because there is no even number,
Please increment CO in the loop.
CE will be 0, and this is going to give an error. The program is going to crash on this line. The program is going to crash on this line. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, now first of all, guys, your program is working perfectly fine. So as far as we are concerned right now, this program is okay for me. But I'm going further beyond this program. What if my array contains only odd numbers? This is going to crash here. What should I do now?
We can add a if.
We can?
If add a if.
Okay, so we can check here. If CE is not equal to 0, then perform this. And maybe display it. On the L side, I say SOP no even number found. Does this make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I've just done one part. You can do the other part. So that means if C is not equal to a 0, that means it will perform the division, no problem. It will display the average. But if it is a 0, it will go to the L side and it will say no even number found. So this becomes a very good program. It is taking care of all possible combinations.
So please add a CO increment in the loop.
Oh yes, I have forgotten to add that. Okay, done. Okay, now you can do this for the other part also. Okay, for the average of odd numbers also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now in your yesterday's programs, I had given you some programs.
Yes, sir.
Input values into an array. I have not told you you can take an array. Find the sum and average of all the values. We have done. The second and third we have not done. How many of you can do this? Take an array, display the
Done.
values that are greater than the average of all the values.
Yes.
You can do it?
Yes.
Raise of hands.
Yes, sir.
How many people? How many people? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, enough, enough, enough. 21 is more than enough for me. So if I have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 numbers. What numbers should be actually displayed?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Why 4 and 5 only? What is the average of
So,
all the numbers?
3.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. The average of all the numbers is a 3, and the 4 and 5 are the numbers which are greater than the average. How many loops do you need?
1 loop.
You can do it in one loop. Who was that? Aryan?
So 1 loop for checking and 1 loop for printing.
One loop for calculating the average.
The average, yes.
Okay, not checking. One loop for calculating the average and one loop for displaying the values greater than the average. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll leave this program to you. Take an array, find the highest value in an array. Okay, we'll do this tomorrow. Okay. So the rest of the part we'll do it tomorrow. The people who can do this program, okay, you can try it out yourself. Okay. Take an array, find the largest odd number, largest even number in the array. If there is no even number or no odd number, an appropriate message should be displayed. Just like we did here. Okay, we did something here now. Similarly, you do it here also.
So we have to send you the program.
You can, yes. Send me the program. This is an off kind of a thing. You can send it through WhatsApp to me. I have seen that out of that assignment that I had given, the project assignment, I think only 11 people have sent it. Although I have not checked all, only 11 people have sent it. There are, I think, 15 people who have not even seen the project yet. Alright, and I told you this is carrying marks.
So,
This is good. Yes.
have you given remarks to all? Because I didn't got it.
No,
Get the
no.
remarks.
No, I have not seen all.
Okay,
I have not seen all. Okay. So I'll be seeing it because I've seen people changing their programs after I have checked it. So I will see it when you have all sent it to me. Okay, I don't want to have that problem. All right.
Till what date do we have?
13th, I think I had given the last date. So you have this weekend to work on it.
So on
Okay.
16th we'll get another assignment.
No. You're going to get some assignment from others. You will get mine. I've already given you, and mine I'm already going to get it from you. Okay. Chalo, ठीक है. Any questions? Any questions? We'll continue
Sir,
this tomorrow.
if you give back the assignment after reviewing and it contains some mistake, so sir, we will correct it, or you will give us marks.
Okay. Should I ask you for correction? Should I allow you to correct it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll start checking these now. If they need correction, then you can resubmit it. Okay. वैसे 13th मैंने last date दी है. Let's see what happens till the 13th. Yes. Okay. If there is major corrections to be done, you can do the correction and send it to me again.
Answer you had there was a parameter of marking that the appropriate like names should be used for the variables and the methods.
Uh-huh.
So if there is any correction in that, is that required?
Here you need to give proper names. So just
No,
don't give
sir.
it a hodgepodge name. Proper
No,
name
no.
de do. हाँ.
Sir, I have given the appropriate name. It was just one variable that I had given a random name.
Okay, and why so?
No, sir. It was like if you see the program, sir, there's a variable by the name of v. That's
Huh.
the only one that like variable v only in that sense, sir. It wasn't doing anything major.
Okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Sir, I have not given like the proper names. I've just taken one variable, like M or C, something like that. So, sir, will marks be deducted from for it?
Yeah, give them proper names. At least in your project, give them proper names. In your normal programs, do whatever you want. But in your projects, give them a proper name, not a longish name, but instead of marks, if you are writing M, it's not okay. Put marks or MKS or something like that.
So, sir, can I submit it again?
Yeah, you could.
Okay,
You
sir.
could. ठीक है, please do.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. हाँ जी बेटा.
Sir,
Prabpreet?
like, yes, sir. So we had a variable, if I'm not wrong, related to the institution which was issuing. So instead of writing the full thing as issuing institution or maybe institution, if we write a smaller part of it, but declare it properly in the variable declaration, sir, would that be acceptable?
That is fine. That is fine. Okay.
Sir,
Okay,
can
time
the
for.
be typed one?
Can we send a typed one? Yes, you can send a typed one. Rohan?
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ जी.
Sir, do we need to give proper name to the loop variable also? Or we can use xy?
No, X is fine there because it is only being used only for a small purpose. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, and in the output, we need to give everything, name and everything.
Proper.
Or only if it is valid or not.
Proper. If it is credit card is valid, then you give everything. If it is invalid, just say it is invalid, and the credit card number, the check digit should have been so and so.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Thank you, sir.
ठीक है.
And sir, the arguments declared, sir, can we do it like do not write the arguments, just the variables declared in the main function should be proper.
No, the argument should be properly named. The variables in the main function should be properly named.
Okay.
Use proper names, at least in projects, because these are something which is not I am going to read. They are supposed to be sent to the council also. So let's not make a hodgepodge of it.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Sir.
चलो. Yes, बेटा. आज क्लास खत्म करने का मूड नहीं है क्या? हाँ. बोलो. बोलो.
Sir, if we use a break statement in a nested loop, sir, will the control go out of only the one loop or all the loops?
Beta, if it is nested, if the break is in the inner one, it will come out of the inner one. If it is in the outer one, it will come out of the outer one.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. वो जिस लूप में होगा उस लूप के अंदर से बाहर निकलेगा. तो ये आपने ध्यान रखना है. ठीक है.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll discuss this tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome, beta.
Thank you, sir.